On a separate note, I have to ask about your name coming up in the news recently regarding this comedian.
No, we don't answer that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if you wanted to respond at all about whether any of that was true.
There's no response.
Fair to say there is no water cooler story this week that has everyone talking than the issues surrounding comedian and actor Bill Cosby. With every day comes another woman accusing him of sexual misconduct. And with every day comes silence from Cosby that is only damning him more to a society where perception is 100% of reality. Then again, we don't always need speech to reveal one's true feelings. Let's welcome back to MidPoint trial lawyer, commentator, one who reads body language to the point of giving you the secrets in her upcoming book, How to Spot Frenemies, Underminers, and Toxic People in Every Part of Your Life, which means don't work inside the Beltway in D.C. Wendy Patrick joins us once again. Wendy, good to have you on the show. Good to see you.
Thank you.
That opening soundbite with Bill Cosby there, where he basically looked at the reporter and said nothing, what did you get from that?
I'll tell you, I would call this one reading off the record. Almost that entire segment was dedicated to finding a way to keep that off of the public record. I'll tell you, you talk about being in a corner. This is a very awkward and uncomfortable position for Cosby. And I got to tell you, the presence of his wife, I found to be a very softening aspect to the exchange. Our hearts go out to her. She was a scene softener, I'll say. She had a pleasant expression. She really kind of lent a little bit of kindness and emotion to what was otherwise a very difficult exchange between those two men. This is a tough time for Cosby, and that clip really sort of encapsulates exactly what he's going through with these interviews.
All right, we're going to show another clip with his wife here in just a moment, but first let's show this. This is the one where the question is asked, and again, this is an Associated Press report that was done a couple of weeks before this story really started to heat up here, so it wasn't as if it was done right in the heat of everything that's happening now. We need to keep that in respect here. But this is also an Associated Press report that Cosby at one point asked them to not use. I'm trying to think of his exact word, but he said, please don't use this, put this away, whatever. So keep all that in mind. Here's another bite with Cosby now, and this is just the pause here, I think, is what we're going to focus on. Here we go.
Thank you.
Now, can I get something from you?
What's that?
That none of that will be shown?
I can't promise that myself, but you didn't say anything.
Long pause when he asks that nothing is going to be shown in here. It's almost as if Cosby is trying to intimidate the reporter in many ways, but what did you see in his face coming back? I saw a lot of resolve.
Not only that, it's very deceptive as far as Cosby's words are very slow. They're very thought out. There's not a lot of drama or anger in his voice. Yet if you look at the words he's using, they, as you say, they are very measured, designed to avoid that footage going public. So it's one of those visual verbal mismatches where you're left with what is more reliable. And in this case, certainly it may be the visual really lends credence to how serious he is about wanting those words to be heeded by the reporter in this case.
Now, again, we don't know this, so we're looking at this and we're taking this as expertise and we're trying to guess what's going on here. But as you look at this, do you get the opinion that all this was, at least his denials were rehearsed, scripted, prepared?
If you listen to what he's saying, you might even come away with he wasn't expecting this to happen. Nobody would advise anyone being accused of a crime to come forth, especially to the media. So he's in a very uncomfortable position and possibly didn't expect this would come up in this interview. In fact, that's corroborated by some of his statements coming up that he did not expect to be asked that. So it's a little bit of the element of surprise, perhaps not even having had a chance to rehearse what he would say were he to be asked. Didn't expect to be asked.
All right, let's go ahead and move on then to the other water cooler issue of the week that just happened yesterday. President Obama, his executive action on amnesty, and here's the president then speaking to the nation.
I know some of the critics of this action call it amnesty. Well, it's not. Amnesty is the immigration system we have today. Millions of people who live here without paying their taxes or playing by the rules, while politicians use the issue to scare people and whip up votes at election time. That's the real amnesty, leaving this broken system the way it is.
Boy, here we go. Eyes right on the camera, very intent, never taking his eyes off people. We're certainly taught that when you're looking to someone or talking to someone, never take your eyes off them. What'd you get, Wendy?
I'll tell you, in this one, I do believe was very well crafted and very well rehearsed. And you got it right. We're not only talking about this around the water cooler today, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this around the water cooler for months to come. What really distinguishes this from some of the other speeches that we've analyzed is this. All of the optics were perfectly put together here. It's not a crowd where there's going to be hecklers or people coming up and asking questions he can't answer. His gesturing during this clip, this is the emotional part of the clip. This wasn't the beginning or the end. This is really the contested text right here that we're seeing. So it's punctuated with hand movements, with gesturing, with pointing at one time. He's using both of his hands to really emphasize some of the points he's making.
Do you get the feeling that part of that was to be soft? Because it seemed to me that they maybe wanted to soften him up a little bit and not seem so harsh.
Well, if they wanted to soften him up a little bit, I think this was really not the place that he did that as well as he could have, because it seems like he's using the emphasis for toughness and really to show his determination, his resolve, and that his speech is that he's doing the right thing here when he talks about amnesty and distinguishes his actions. That's why we see a lot of this gesturing that is designed to emphasize the points he's making. It's the emotional part of the address. He knows it, and he's using his mannerisms to really compound the words that he's saying.
And if we were going to look at this again and say there might have been a better way to do it, I mean, can you think of anything? Because it would seem as if he got his message across real well, but did he miss something?
If his goal were to soften his message, there's expressive open hand gestures that would have been an option potentially. The open palm, the open hand, the non-pointing, something that's not so aggressive and almost seems more collaborative and cooperative rather than something that is a monologue rather than inviting a dialogue. But again, that may not have been the intention behind these words. So it all goes back to, what do you design the message to accomplish, and did it in fact meet those goals?
Fear not. He had met some goals. It got a lot of people upset, and it's going to have them upset for quite some time. Trust me on this one. Once again, let's go ahead and remind everybody the Wendy's book coming out. I believe it comes out in February. Is that correct?
May 5th now, Cinco de Mayo, 2015.
May 5th. Oh, okay. You just wanted to have it on a holiday. I get that. That's really what it all is. Okay.
Right.
Here's the book, How to Spot Frenemies, Underminers, and Toxic People in Every Part of Your Life by Wendy Patrick. We'll have a big Cinco de Mayo party for it as well. Wendy, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right. After the break, we're back with more than the Wall Street numbers. You get another reason to fear when your American beer is brewed by a foreign interloper. That and so much more when we continue right here on MidPoint.